need to show the entire blood work panel, and you can't just show some of it. That proves absolutely nothing. What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going sorry, kind of lost my voice yesterday. I was watching the Jays game and they absolutely destroyed the Dodgers in game 1, you know, so hopefully they can do that 3 more times, but you know, we'll see. So my voice is a little bit, kind of lost it a little bit there, but my dad actually sent me a video and we're talking about blood work. So the video he sent me was from Hussein, and it was why blood tests can't prove you're natural. And I see in the video Jeff Nippard, or shall I say Jeff Nippard.
Jeff Nippard. Jeff Nippard. Yeah. Trendsetter. Jeff Nippard.
So we're going to be watching it today. I've already watched the video and I've already got some things that I want to say. So going to be letting you know exactly what I think.
There are fitness creators out there who want you to believe that blood work alone can prove whether or not somebody is natural. And I am here to tell you that is not the case. Standard testosterone blood test will not show total androgenic activity. They only detect testosterone, not full anabolic activity from DHT or 19-nor compounds. And let's be real, big influencers know that testosterone levels alone, standard testosterone levels alone, cannot prove anything. Blood work can only show if you're currently using testosterone, and even then, only at supraphysiological levels will it flag abnormal.
Yeah, so standard blood tests or whatever, or tests that only show testosterone ain't gonna prove jack diddly squat, because what if you just hopped off? Let's say if you just hopped off for a week or whatever, you know, the testosterone would be normally back in check, but there will be other markers that will tell you, hey, wait a minute, like for example, if you look at the FSH and LH, if they're elevated or if they're crash, you know, that's going to be like, hey, wait a minute, something's going on here. So you can't just show testosterone. If you only show testosterone, that proves absolutely nothing. You need to show everything, because it's kind of like a domino chain with blood work. If you do something to one thing, something else is going to happen, and it's a big domino chain. So you need to show everything.
I've known pros who blast PEDs all year round, then get off for a few months, go get their labs done, and their testosterone comes back normal or even low normal.
So she says after a few months, the blood work will return to normal, and that is 100% true. That's why when somebody gets blood work done, it needs to be on short notice. They can't have a bunch of notice or know ahead of time, because then obviously they can just hop off, but that takes quite months. Like drug tests, if you're like in competition, you can hop off, you can beat that within a week. But if it's blood work, it's going to be like 3 or 4 months. So when you are getting blood work done, when someone is like, let's say Hussein, for example, because he's like the biggest fake natty of all time, right? So when Greg tested him, Hussein on the spot was like, hey, I'll send you the blood work. Challenge accepted. He did it right away. Now, the only problem with that is then we need to trust Greg Doucette that they haven't been working together behind closed doors, and that's one of the other things. That's why it's like people are iffy about it, because if they work together behind closed doors and we're like, you know, they planned this out 4 months prior, hey, I'm gonna hop off and then we'll get the test, then you never know. But if he were to have done that, then he would have lost size, lost strength and stuff. So I don't really think that's the case, but it is, you can't just rule it out completely.
He only posted the luteinizing hormone, which does not show us anything really. Why not show if he did all of their hormones, why not show their estrogen levels? Why not show their kidney values? Why not show their IGF-1 levels? Sus to me.
Yeah, she's talking about Jeff's actual video, the ones he made before. Yeah, he could have showed the whole blood work panel. I don't think that was a great representation of trying to prove they were natural. He only showed really, in that short she was looking at anyway, he only really showed testosterone. And in his full video, he showed the FSH and LH but in that short, he only showed testosterone, which really doesn't prove absolutely anything. And she also then says, you know, after I went off, my LH and stuff went back down. I got my period back, and after 3 months. So it takes time. Blood work, to beat blood work, it takes a lot of time. It's not like a drug test. So again, when people get blood work to prove they're natural, it needs to be with no notice on the spot. If they hesitate or they're like, can I give it to you a little later? No, you can't do that, because then it's beatable.
And I'm not taking that away from him. Maybe he is 1 in a million. Who knows? But I am saying that, Jeff, this is not an accurate way to tell if somebody is natty or not. Now, again, I can't say whether or not these guys are natties. Either way, their physiques are incredibly impressive. Standard blood testosterone tests do not prove natty or not.
Again, bang on. Definitely doesn't. Now, something that does also, and this is why I personally believe Hussein, for example, is natural, is he's been tested multiple times throughout the year and he beat every single one. Now, the only possibility for Hussein, because it's still possible, you can't, over the internet, you can't prove 110% that anyone is actually 100% natural. For example, let's say Hussein I believe Hussein got like tested like 4 times this year or whatever. Let's say he paid off all 4 guys, all 4 independent parties, Jeff Nippard, Greg Doucette, I think it was like there were 2 other independent labs. Let's say he paid them all off. That's possible. You can't rule that out. But what is more likely? Do you think it's more likely that Hussein paid these 4 independent labs off, and these 4 independent people or labs are going to put their reputation on the line to lie and cover up for him, while he has also stated that if he fails, he will give anyone, I believe it was $100,000. Do you not think those labs would want to collect that check? So at the end of the day, when it really comes to this, you have to trust the third party that is doing the blood work on Hussein's behalf. Obviously, there's going to be some shady stuff, but I just think he's done it so many times now that it's all leading in one direction, that he is actually natural. And she says, you know, it is possible for these guys to be natural, and it definitely is. If you don't believe that what Hussein has done, if you think that's impossible naturally, then your standards on like genetic ranges are absolutely not where they should be. And we've also some people have also said that, you know, he probably just started a cycle, hopped off, and kept all his gains. And that, you know, I originally thought that this was impossible to do, and you can't do it because then you lose all those gains. But apparently, and this is new information to me, again, I'm going to take this with a grain of salt because I'm not 100% sure on this, but if you take steroids or performance-enhancing drugs, you get to your natural genetic limit and then stop, you can keep a large majority of those gains. Like your natural genetic limit, as if you were a natural, then you can keep the majority of those gains. But the thing is he is still making gains to this day. And he's still making gains in strength and size while he's getting all these 4 tests done. So if he were to have actually hopped off during these 4 tests, then he wouldn't be increasing in size and strength, and he would definitely not be I guess he could have maintained, but he wouldn't be increasing in size and strength. So for me, I have to believe it. Again, is it possible he just paid all these guys off? 100%. I just think you have to, if you're a gambler, what are you going to bet on? If you're at roulette or I don't know what other gambling, you go to the casino, if I had to bet my life on it, I would say he's natural. It's not a matter of is what he achieved possible naturally. It's a matter of is he actually that 1 in a million? Because there are those 1 in a millions out there. 7 billion, I believe 8 billion now people in this world. So there's quite a few 1 in a millions when there's 8 billion people. The question is just, is he one of those 1 in a millions?
The timing of when you get your blood work done changes everything. Someone can be on blast 6 months ago, recover, test clean, have normal testosterone levels, and still have residual muscle, residual strength, even visual fullness from their previous use. I mean, again, I'll reference myself in the video that I made last.
So yeah, I just went over that if you can get to your natural genetic limit as a natural by using steroids, if you stop, you can keep majority of those gains. But the difference is Hussein is continuing to make gains in size and strength. If he were to have plateaued and then we're like, wait, he made all his gains right at the start and now he's not making any new gains, that would be something to question. But he has shown video and footage that he's still making gains. And I know some of you are going to be like, no, he stopped making gains. But you got to understand that Hussein is also a master of lighting, camera angles. He knows how to make himself look massive all the time. So when he does that pose like this, where he's like this and he looks like freaking Superman, he doesn't actually look like that when he walks around every single day. It's the same way, like when I'm on a bodybuilding stage, like I don't look like that when I'm walking around every day. These photos are taken with a great lighting, a DSLR, like $10,000 camera. I mean, so you can't just judge based off what people are posting online, because people know tricks to make themselves look bigger and all this kinds of stuff.
And standard testosterone blood tests will not show androgen load. Think of it like this: the more androgens you have circulating in your bloodstream, the more muscle your body can sustain. Someone could take minimal or no testosterone, load up on hundreds, even thousands of milligrams of other compounds, and still look massive with low or normal testosterone.
And that's why you need to show the entire blood work panel, and you can't just show some of it. That proves absolutely nothing. So I would highly recommend you give her video a watch. I'll have it linked in the description. Her channel's not overly massive, but I would definitely recommend you go watch that video, because there is a lot of shady shit that goes on with this stuff. So like the people like Simeon Panda and Mike O'Hearn and The Rock, you see the difference between them and Hussein is they won't show the blood work because they know they're not natural. Hussein, he is showing the blood work and he's been tested multiple times. He's still making gains. So I have to be a believer. I'm just going off what I truly believe. If you hate me for that, that's fine. Whatever. This is just what I really think. Like, my dad doesn't believe it, and you know what? Okay, we can agree to disagree. This is just my opinion. I'm a 17-year-old idiot, but if you guys have enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.